Let's talk more about this. Musk's relationship with the board, with Tesla investor and CEO of Gerber Kawasaki, Ross Gerber. Ross, first off, who do you think the Journal, they're not going to publish something unless they got good sources, even if they don't name them. Who's leaking all this stuff lately?
Well, there's 80,000 people at Burning Man, so it doesn't take too much to see Elon there partying with everybody. You know, it's kind of like common knowledge. So there's plenty of people that have partied with Elon, so I don't think it's hard to find anybody, you know.
Yeah, but I will say the Google founders, I think, you know, they went to Burning Man. There's been many tech CEOs that have gone to that. Do these reports trouble you as much as they apparently trouble some other people?
There's actually a technology section of Burning Man, you know, if you want to be more specific. And, you know, I'm kind of from the deadhead scene, so I kind of know who does things and doesn't. But that said, you know, the computer chip was invented with the Grateful Dead sitting around, you know, the same area at the same time. So there's a lot of, you know, history of innovation in psychedelics. But that said, it doesn't really trouble me per se as much as it would trouble other institutional shareholders, you know, being a deadhead. But that said, I think it's all about optics, and people want to have confidence in a board of directors in a company. And, you know, hearing about people partying, it was bad enough the time he smoked weed with Joe Rogan was like considered a you know, kind of a big scandal at the time. And we're talking just a hit of a legal drug. So, you know, it's really hard to get institutions to invest billions of dollars in a company when the CEO sort of admits to be doing psychedelics.
Yeah, and I want to be clear, though. I mean, Musk said, you know, he's got drug tests for these NASA contracts for SpaceX, and he's passed every single one of them. I mean, we have reports of unnamed people, and I saw him maybe doing this with that person, possibly. But we also have passed drug tests, which is like, that's, you know, at least.
No. The drug tests do not test for ketamine or psychedelics. Drug tests typically test for cocaine and heroin and cannabis and things like that. So psychedelics, you know, those of us who are deadheads know, you know.
But do we care about those?
They don't test for it.
I mean,
they don't test for those drugs.
I mean, ketamine is illegal in certain uses, but it's also prescribed in certain ways.
It's a new thing to be prescribing ketamine and psychedelics to deal with mental and emotional issues. And if that's the case, that Elon has mental and emotional issues that he's been prescribed psychedelics for, that would be another thing that investors want to assess, you know, is the fitness mentally that he has to be CEO. If that's in fact the case, that he's being treated for mental issues. So, you know, quite frankly, this is all just a big distraction from the fact that Tesla needs to execute and sell Cybertrucks and get full self-driving to work. You know, I just put a list of 10 things Tesla needs to do to get their stock going back again, and all of them are execution issues. And so this is, you know, once again, I'm not that concerned about Elon's personal time and whatever. What I'm concerned about is he's not at Tesla building trucks.
Does the board need to be rebuilt? It's only got 8 people on it. 2 are named Musk. It's got his buddy Joe Gebbia, who founded Airbnb. You got James Murdoch of the Murdoch, you know, News Corp fortune. Do we need to remove some of them, add new people? How? What?
Well, this is the trickiest part for Tesla, because essentially anything the board does, compensation or major decisions, can be challenged now by investors because, you know, Delaware said the board isn't independent. And so it would be false and misleading to imply that they are. So they really need to get rid of 3 or 4 board members and replace them with truly independent board members that have no financial ties to Elon. And the problem with that is that Elon isn't going to want to deal with those people. And I learned this when I ran for the board a year ago. There's no desire from anybody at Tesla or within Elon's circle to have an independent board. Elon controls the company 100%, even though he only owns 13% of the company. But it's going to be very hard for the company to move forward with the current board. And this is, I think, one of the reasons the stock is selling off, is because changes have to be made if there's going to be legally binding things happen. But Elon certainly isn't going to like those changes. So how does this all work itself out? And I think that's the challenge Tesla investors are facing.